Hi, so in this video I want to introduce this really interesting resource that you can use. A lot of people don't know about this. It's really fun, could be a great material for young learners, elementary students, even perhaps middle school and high school students. This is makebeliefscomics.com. Now just pay attention to the spelling because the spelling isn't perhaps how you would expect it to be spelt. Okay, so beliefs with F and S, and comics is spelt with an X. Okay, so here is the URL address at the top here, makebeliefscomics.com. Just be careful about that spelling. Okay, so on this website you can create comic strips or webtoons, as they're known in Korea. I'll show you how to make webtoons in a moment, but first let me just draw your attention to this toolbar across the top. Now, this website has lots and lots of sections. I haven't even had time to check out all of these sections, but you've got things like printable materials. So in there, they've got lots of ready-made worksheets and writing kind of frames and formats and things. So you can go into there. You can also check out the teacher's stuff, and it does have a specific section for English for speakers of other languages and literacy. So yeah, take a look at that. There's lots of content on here, more than I've had a chance to look at. But today what we're going to do is create our own comic, our own little comic strip. Now this is why this website is fun and unique. So we're going to go to create your comics now and just wait for the page to load. Okay, so here we have a comic book, a comic strip maker, and this is actually online. So this all happens in your browser. So we have these 3 panels, 1, 2, 3. So that's kind of a classic webtoon. We can add more. Okay, so we could have like 4 panels. Okay, but let's just stay to 3. So we're just going to remove that. But you can also minus and go down to 2 if you want to. Okay, so you can give your comic a title, and you can put the author's name of the comic. And then what you have to do is click on a frame, and down here you have options. Now these are quite important because when you start putting things in, you might want to change the size, you might want to flip the things that you put in. Yeah, so we're going to use these a little bit as well. And down here you have your selection window. Okay, so you've got different things like backgrounds and objects, and also very important, the talk bubbles, the speech bubbles. So let's start with characters. And we have lots of characters here. Okay, so each of these characters has a few different poses as well. Now it is a bit limited because you can't create the poses exactly that you want. Okay, maybe. So yeah, just be a little bit aware of that. So let's choose a character. Let's choose this astronaut. Okay, so as I mentioned, he has a few different poses. And let's put him into our frame. So here he is now. Now he's a little bit big, so let's change the scale. Okay, so I'm going to click on him and we can make him a little bit smaller. There we go, that's better. Okay, and go back to move, and there we go, we can move around. Okay, so I like that character, and let's go back. Now, where are the backgrounds? I'm not sure. This website, now one thing I will mention, is that it changes. This website does change. So every time you come back to it, things might be in a slightly different place. So it has changed actually since last time I used it. Okay, well here we've got some objects. So let's find an object. Well, he's on the moon and he's putting the flag on the moon. So let's put that there. And what else? Oh yeah, here we go. Here's backgrounds. And we can also do background color. But let's go into backgrounds because I think we need to put a background on it. And yeah, well, it could be something silly. Well, let's say that he is... he thinks he's on the moon, but really he's just standing in the street. Okay, there we go. So there's our background. And okay, so we need to scroll along, and there's the background. We've got some new added stuff here as well that I haven't seen before. So next, what you might want to do is add a talk balloon. So you've got different sizes. Let's click here, and yeah, that's pretty good size. And then we can click in here and we can type our expressions there. If it's too big, if the speech bubble's too big, you can just delete and just add in a smaller speech bubble. You've also got some thought bubbles and these kind of like story squares as well. Okay, but just for now, that's fine. Let's go on to our next frame and let's go back to characters. Okay, now I'm just using this as an example. So this time, let's put 2 characters into the frame. Let's choose this lady first. Here we go. Again, let's change the scale. There we go. Okay, that's good. And let's choose another character. Okay, well, let's go with this first person here. Let's put him in and standing over here and change the scale again. Okay, now, if these 2 characters are talking to each other, he is facing the wrong way, isn't he? So we do have this flip option, which will flip him around. So now they're facing the same way. Okay, so you can just add in your parts. You can change your backgrounds. There we go. Okay. And put in some more speech bubbles. Okay, let's give him a small speech bubble. Okay, so as you can see, you can quite quickly and easily build up a little webtoon with characters and speech bubbles and so on. Now, how you could use this in your teaching, there's a few different ways. One way is you could create these webtoons with blank bubbles and have the students create little conversations and write the expressions into the bubbles. Another option is that you introduce and teach how to use this in the classroom and then set for homework students to create a little comic strip, and they can email or print or send to the teacher. And of course, if your academy or school has enough computers, then you might be able to use a computer lab and go into a computer lab and have students taking, say, like a dialogue from the textbook and making that into a comic strip. Okay, so I think that would be a really fun way of, doing a bit more creativity with dialogues and so on. To finish off, what you need to do now is print or email. Okay, so if we're happy with that, which we haven't finished yet, but that's okay. Okay, so when we're finished, we can print. We can save the image to disk, so that's really useful. So you can save the image. Like I mentioned, students could be doing this at home, and then they could save the image and bring it on a USB stick or something like that. Or they can email. So you could set up like a special email for the teacher and have students emailing the images to you, and then you could view them in class, for example. Okay, so there's lots of different options on here. And like I said, the comic strip maker, I think, is kind of unique and really fun and could be a very motivational tool for your students. But definitely check out the other options in the menu here. It does also have like ready-made comic strips and worksheets and things that you can use in your teaching. Right, I hope that was interesting and useful. Thank you very much.